Welcome to the Penguin Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tate. It's a quick one, but a good one this week. Nick and company will be back the following week. We have been feverishly getting ready for Magic Live. This week, the main event is the freshly crowned world champions of mentalism. The world knows them as Mind to Mind, but I know them as James and Marina. They are from the UK and the Ukraine, respectively. They work in Dubai and are the single best second sight act I have ever seen. Their performance at FISM was electrifying and so good that there was suspicion of electronics and stooging. I can confidently say both of those accusations are false. I had them on the show to discuss their act, their win, and address their rumors. I caught up with them via Zoom, and now you get to join our conversation. James and Marina, thanks so much for joining me here on the Penguin Magic Podcast. First of all, congratulations on becoming the new world champions in mentalism. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we still can't believe it. Yeah.
So what's next? Disney World?
No.
That's a great idea.
We've-
Thank you.
We've been twice already. I'm
Not a fan. Yeah, he's not a fan.
So I guess what I need to start with is I was there at FISM when I saw you guys perform, and I unfortunately was in the booth, and so I only got to see the first performance that earned you the world championship through TV, and it looked electric. And then I saw you again when you competed for the Grand Prix, and it was amazing. And very quickly afterwards, people were saying, "Oh, well, they're clearly using electronics." I've seen you guys do this in a bar. There's no way you guys are using electronics. What's going on here?
Yeah, so it's a extremely high compliment that people that know are still suggesting that we're using electronics. We use a system that we've developed ourselves from the ground up. It's still based on old-fashioned principles, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted something that enabled us to have the appearance be different every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if there were the same objects 3 times in a row,
Yes.
it would always be different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a contextual method.
But let's go back a little bit further so that people know what we're talking about. And we are talking to magicians here, so we are this is a second sight act. We're not trying to like fool people too much. It's just that it's not that it's not fooling. It's that we're not trying to expose the method too much, but we all sort of generally know what's going on here. How did you two start putting this act together?
We'd discussed this right after we first met. I'd seen Falkenstein and Willard
Mm-hmm.
probably about 10 years ago and always wanted to do this type of act.
Mm-hmm.
I floated the idea to Marina and she loved it. I showed her the video of Falkenstein and Willard doing it, and you were blown away, weren't you?
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. I knew nothing about magic at that point, magic, mentalism, nothing. And we just started dating. And he was a close-up magician, and I had my own job, and it was nothing to do with entertainment. And when I saw that video, I was mesmerized. I thought they were real. They were doing real magic for me. And I said, if there is a chance for me to do something even remotely close to that, please let me know, and I'll do my best to, and I'll work hard for it.
I think that that's kind of an understatement with
Mhm.
how far you two have come. And how did you start preparing for FISM? Because going into this kind of a competition with the type of act that you have, you had to go above and beyond compared to other performers of your nature, at least in what I could tell. Because it's when you're walking in and people sort of know it, they see 2 people on stage, someone's blindfolded, there's a lot of words coming out of mouths, and suddenly things are being identified. Everyone knows what's up. So you had to do something completely crazy to get ready for this.
Yeah, so always we'd never met any other second sight acts. We'd seen some on TV, and through the magic of editing on TV, the method always was cleaner. So that's what we based our approach on. We didn't realize that when we first started that it was being edited. So we worked on a system that sounded the same as post-edited coding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then with FISM, we We knew that we wanted it to be different and staged differently
Mm-hmm.
to any other act of this kind. We knew that second sight acts are very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we're kind of walking alone in what we needed to create, because there was nothing else like it, and there are so few acts like it, that we knew that there were boundaries that could be pushed. Now, we've worked with David Penn for years, since we first started, pretty much. And we were discussing FISM in FISM Italy with him. And I just said, oh, by the way, we can do this really fast, right? And he said, show me. So he laid out a load of items, and we just rattled them off really quickly. And he was like, that's it. That's the finale. And then he came to stay for 2 weeks in Dubai. And the first thing he did when he landed was he asked me to buy a whiteboard. And he sketched out a 9-minute bar and said, these are the most important 9 minutes of your life. And we spent the next 2 weeks, 14 hours a day, just working on how the act would be, because in corporates, our second sight section of our act is 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And during that time, we're able to eliminate possible methods as we go to gradually up the ante. We didn't have the luxury of time, so those 9 minutes became super important. And what we discussed during that week was a look and a feel that hadn't existed before. We wanted Marina to start in the audience with her back to me the whole time. Because when we did the Magic Circle competition, we know from some of the judges that they wouldn't have it that Marina couldn't see through the Ryan pod.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the time to really disprove that as much, but having Marina at least have her back to me, starting in the audience, we wanted kind of a theatrical jolt, especially after people have watched hours of competition. It needed to look different. And then, since then, we worked the act over and over again. We flew to Spain because there's a venue there called House of Illusion.
Mm-hmm.
We ran the act 50 times in a row for lay audiences. David visited us twice there to also give us notes on every single performance. We flew to Portugal to spend a week with Luis de Matos, who also gave us notes after every single performance. So it was a year of, we've always practiced intensely, but it was a year of like way more than intense. It was just complete obsession. It kind of took over our lives.
Yeah.
Speed is a bit of an understatement. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of objects being named at breakneck pace in this act. It is unbelievable how fast you two are, which I'm sure is why there are people who are rumoring that you're using electronics. But I don't even know how you would use electronics to go as fast as you two do.
But yeah, that was our question. Like but what kind of electronics would let us do that? Yeah, would like to know. You guys know something. Let us know.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of things from laymen, like the contacts in eyes,
To have special cameras. Yeah.
special cameras in them, earpieces, things like that. None of them would be anywhere near as fast. What was the most flattering was that there's another second sight act, and the guy from that act posted online that he thought we were using electronics. I thought
That's funny.
Marina, you must hold a tremendous amount of information in your head as he's rattling this off.
It appears so, yeah. I never think about it this way, but yeah. There's a
It's
lot here.
I want to I don't want to get too deep into methods on this, but I do want to comment on the fact that you didn't want it to look like anything else. You mentioned that Marina starts with her back to you. It was arguably one of the most visually striking things in
And-
FISM was Marina standing alone in the middle of the audience, and James, you running around doing things with this camera and the slick graphics. And then Marina, you spoke in your native tongue to begin the act. It was really
This is
just
how we started, actually. I used to say the line in Ukrainian, but
Mhm.
then we thought we wanted to connect with the European audience and with a lot of Italian magicians. So we
Mhm.
translated that same line in Italian. So I spoke Italian at FISM.
You spoke Italian at FISM.
That
Okay.
was Italian, yeah.
I can't tell the difference between the two languages because I was educated in America. So
Yes, actually, Ukrainian sounds a lot like Italian. That's true.
Mhm.
So yeah.
But normally you speak it in Ukrainian. That must be a very powerful moment in the show to
Normally,
begin
that
with.
part I speak it in Ukrainian, yeah, and it's very special to me. Yeah.
I would encourage anyone who's listening to this or watching this to go online and see photos of it, because even, and I don't mean this as an insult because it could come off that way, it is the most beautifully lit piece of mentalism I've ever seen as well.
Thank
How did
you.
you go about how did you go about creating such striking visuals in what is generally not a visual medium or a visual type of magic?
Yeah, so that was always something that was really important to us, was to make it look nice. So I did all the screens. I love working in QLab,
Mhm.
and we're both obsessive. So we spent hours and hours and hours, and that kept on changing up until right before we flew to Italy.
Mhm.
Um, the lighting itself, that was initially designed by David Penn
Really?
during those 2 weeks in Dubai. Yeah.
I'm seriously worried that David Penn is gonna get his own FISM award at some point, or that the Wizard
We
product review is gonna
definitely
be FISM
prepared
invo
for him, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
working
you
working with David was like it was a real game changer is an understatement. It changed our lives because when we started, he flew us to Northampton in 2018 and took us out to bars every night to help us work on our act, because I have a close-up magic background,
Mhm.
so I'd never really done much on stage. And
Really?
I remember the turning point when I realized how powerful what he was teaching us was, we were working on the BGT performance, and we had a script. And when we were performing in these bars, I kept on going to my kind of close-up personality,
Mhm.
where you join their energy.
Yeah.
But he kept on saying, "No, no, keep the same energy, exactly how you'll do it on stage." And there was one table which was it was a bachelor party, and they were rowdy and drunk, and we went over and we started, and we maintained our character, and they were bantering a little bit at the beginning, but we held fast to what he'd taught us. And at some point, like after about 3 minutes, they suddenly all shut up and just watched. So we'd managed to bring them into our world, which was something I'd never done as a close-up magician, because you pace their reality, because you're entering into their territory. Yeah, and since then, every time we do a corporate show or something like that, we send them our videos for notes.
The, I think your background as a close-up magician also helps a little bit in this type of an act, because I think so often when you watch, there's a really beautiful sequence you do with cards, and I don't know exactly what you're doing, but I know that you're doing beautiful sleight of hand while you're setting up this really, I think the structure of it is so beautiful in the way you've put this together, and it's very apparent that you've taken your close-up background and used it to contribute towards this remarkable stage act that you have.
Yeah, yeah, and I really wanted to do a card bit
Mhm.
that didn't involve marked cards, that could be done with a borrowed deck. So that's what we. Yeah, I never really performed it for magicians until Dallas,
Mhm.
and
Wh
I didn't realize that most magicians wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah. It certainly, I saw you for the first time in Dallas, and I've told you this story before where someone said, "You've gotta see the second sight act, it's amazing," and I know some very good second sight acts, and I thought, "Well, I've seen one, I've seen them all," and then I went up, and then you started pulling objects from the crowd, and I will never forget, not only did Marina say the card clip, but she got the brand of the card clip that I'd worked on. How deep that was a moment in FISM where you held up a prop and she said "Okito box" and the room gasped. Is that
Yep.
that's something that you're always working on. Am I correct there?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the line that she said is something that we'd practice just in case.
Ooh.
If there's any particularly special items, we'll always have
Yeah.
something.
There's a
Mhm.
database of lines that I could use for a specific item, so I'm always ready to throw something in, and I was so happy at that moment. Yeah, because normally we get, like, tissues and matches or whatever, wet wipes and something very boring, but when something like this comes up, I'm like, "Yes, get to use
Well,
one of my smart ass lines.
Marina actually added a little bit of extra sass
Yeah.
to that. So the line that we practiced was always, it's either in Akito or Boston, but you don't know what it is, so how would I know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But in this case, there'd been some comments online about
Mhm.
the mentalism level at FISM, and
Yes.
we kind of took it personally because then we were all part of a family, and it was like,
Mhm.
I was a little sour about that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so in performance, Marina said it's either in Akito or Boston, but how would I know? I'm just a mentalist, right?
I'm just a mentalist. That's how I said it.
For me, vice versa. That's how.
Now, you mentioned earlier, you perform in Dubai a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How does this act go over in a part of the world where English is not the first language? I mean, obviously you don't do it as fast, I'm assuming.
Well, English is kind of the first language, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's only 20% locals,
Okay.
so everyone speaks English. If you only spoke Arabic, you would struggle in Dubai because the staff in restaurants and things like that are not local.
Oh, okay.
So English is the main language, yeah.
And when you were performing this in Portugal, obviously, I'm sure neither of you speak Portuguese. You were performing it in English too. Did you have to slow down there as well as you were getting ready for this? And in Spain? I
Yes.
mean, or
So we were only performing in Luis Matos's warehouse for him and his team,
okay.
just to get the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some words that we changed. Like we have
Mhm.
this hero's journey about David Bovras, true story, by the way.
Really?
Where we say we froze, we couldn't do it.
Mhm.
And after 3 performances, the team went, what is froze?
Yeah.
It hadn't even occurred to me. So we changed
Mhm.
that to panicked, which
Yeah.
was more international. And yeah, it was tough to slow down. And I'm not sure how much of it came across at FISM, because I know that there were a lot of non-English speakers there, but we did our best.
It, as I had prepared the North Americans for FISM, I was often harping on them on their scripts that you are performing for an international audience. It must have been a pretty big area of focus for you to not just change your normal scripting, but shall we say, the hidden scripting so that it all continued to play and continue to be deceptive for an international audience.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Or is it, or is maybe you've already done that work since you're a UK and a Ukrainian that you're sort of naturally working broadly anyway?
Yeah, I think being in Dubai for so many years has
Mhm.
helped that a lot.
Mhm.
Because we've removed any, I've removed any of my English colloquialism. Yeah.
That's English.
Uh, and I guess the other question I have is, where are you gonna go from here? I mean, creating an act that is not only beautiful, but impressive, and then winning in the world championship is amazing, but where are we gonna see Mind to Mind moving on now?
Well, right now we're focused on trying to see if we can reinvent the act again.
Really?
Yeah, because it's one thing to do that once, but
Mhm,
we really want to keep pushing the boundaries
mhm.
of what's possible with second sight. We love it as an art form. It's so fascinating to us. We've got an idea that we're working on at the moment, which is probably going to take a couple of years. But again, it will be something totally different. We're not going to do any more competitions.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, how would you recommend other people who are interested in pursuing second sight, even as a hobby, to get started in doing what you do? Because there's just not a lot of information out there.
Yeah, I think it's really important to create your own system purely because it depends on your language patterns and
Mhm,
the way that you interact with your partner.
mhm.
Um, and I think taking something like we started with Corinda,
Mhm.
and we realized very quickly that we needed to modernize it somehow.
Because the because that was written back when street lamps were lit by gas.
And yeah, we're not a big fan of like having to spell things because I think it becomes very wordy then.
Mhm.
So we wanted to make sure that we had a bank ready to go where we knew exactly how we could say any particular thing based on whichever code we're using at the time. So there's multiple languages.
That's interesting. Well, I don't want to get too much into method because I know that second sight acts guard a lot of that very jealously. And so I guess the question on everybody's mind is that when you're frustrated at each other, do you code swear words at each other?
Not swear words, no, but yeah, it might happen. Yeah, we're very kind to each other. So, yeah. Well,
Well,
we
you
have
two,
our own way to
I
say
think
things to each other without saying it.
I think working together, and one of the reasons why this type of act is so rare is not just because of the amount of work it takes, but I think it's quite rare to find somebody to spend that amount of time with and not fall out.
Mhm.
Like it's hours every day, and
And it does get frustrating, as you said. Yeah, it does sometimes. Yeah.
I hadn't considered that you're probably working more closely together than many people in other professional capacities because of what you're having to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, you're having to write the show and build around it.
the important thing for us was always to completely differentiate between performance, work, and
Mhm.
relationship.
Ah.
There has to be a very clear separator
Mhm.
between those two things, because otherwise
Because
it can't work.
you two are married, I should
Yeah.
add.
Mhm.
Yes. How has it been post FISM? Because here we are talking a week and a half afterwards. You've just spent years of your life working towards this huge thing. And then not only did you do the thing, you achieved the highest level. What is the after experience like?
It's strange, isn't it? Because we had our schedule. We had a very strict schedule for at least the last year. Of, we wake up, we work a certain amount of hours, and we have a lunch break. Then we work more hours, and we have another break, and then yeah, we'll have like around 6 to 7 hours a day that we work with no days off, just on this specific thing. And now we decided to take a week and a half off. And it's so strange to me. It feels like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I'm just wasting my time not working on what I'm supposed to be working on. It's strange. I was looking forward to the time where we could relax, but now it kind of makes me feel guilty that I'm not doing enough. So I think 2 more days, we'll go back to it. Yeah.
Just to be clear, what's so funny about what Marina's saying now is we've technically only had 2 days off,
Really?
because but by holiday we still worked. We went back to House of Illusion
Well, yeah.
and performed for another 7 days. But that was just to have fun. And I think that was the best thing we could have done. Rather than just stopping suddenly, to
Mhm.
still have direction right after FISM and kind of wind it down gradually really helped. And House of Illusion's an amazing venue. If I'd known about it when I was 18, I'd have been doing every 6-month contract I could there.
Oh, and I have to imagine that preparing at House of Illusion to go to FISM and then coming back and then being introduced every night as the world champions of mentalism must just send goose pimples all over you every time.
Yeah, we got to play, which was so nice to kind of go away from just the 9 minutes and do
Yeah.
other stuff. We did a few at the beginning, which were really fun, where we pretended to be audience members. And Matt Edwards, who was running the show at that time, would bring us up to do so. He would talk about a couple that could do this crazy thing and say, "Look, I
Mhm.
think it works with any couple. Why don't you guys stand up?" Marina paces away, and he says, "Look, I'm going to hand you an item, and she's going to guess what it is, and you're going to hand me something." And I go, "What? I just asked her?" And you go, "Yeah. All right. What's this?" And then I'd have to look amazed. But we tried to organize it like a flash mob almost. So suddenly we'd go from that, and he'd say, "By the way, this is them," and then we go full on into performance mode.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah,
For
by the way, they just won the championship for Magic." It goes,
that is
you're like,
evil.
yeah,
Yeah.
That is truly evil. I
yeah,
need to see that happen.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, man. Well,
Here you go, video.
uh,
I'll send it to you.
yeah.
is there any chance that video of either of your performances will make it up online in the future so that people can see it?
Yes. So Masters of Magic are going to send us the full video. We'll post it on YouTube.
Mhm.
We figure
Excellent.
there's no point in trying to keep it secret now. 2,000 magicians have seen it. I'd rather publish it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited for people to publish it. James, Marina, I know you guys are about to head out from where you are and have a couple of days off. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Penguin Magic Podcast.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for having us.
James and Marina, thanks again for joining us back on the Penguin Magic Podcast. Even though we shut it down just a second ago, we were saying goodbye and how we were going to hang out at Magic Live next week. And then we remembered there actually was controversy. Your act was so good, you almost had a Leonard Green moment. They thought you were using stooges.
Yeah. So that was
Tell us
that was
what
a real-
happened.
It was an emotional roller coaster. So we came off stage after we'd done it. Everything
Yes.
we'd worked for, we'd done. We came off stage and we were crying. David was crying. We were all just so happy that it was done. And then suddenly there were these discussions. One of the team was talking to David, and it looked like it was clearly something negative.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh no, what's happened? And then David came and said they think you might have been using a stooge.
Really?
Yeah. So they wanted to meet with us. So then we had to wait around.
The jury wanted to meet
Yeah.
with you. This is a highly unusual action at FISM.
Yeah. And David kept on saying how great it was, but we didn't feel like we felt like you know the feeling of getting sent to the headmaster's office.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it felt like. And we were just like I was pacing around. I couldn't sit still. We were waiting for 4 hours to meet with them, and then we went in and they were lovely. We went over the details. We offered another demonstration. We ended up doing the final with extra care given to who was chosen for that bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out to be just fine, but it was terrifying.
Even though we knew we had nothing to worry about, obviously we didn't use any stooges, but just the whole situation, we had to wait for at least 4 hours, not knowing whether we don't know what's going to happen. What if they
Yeah.
disqualify us and they don't want to listen, or they don't believe us, or I don't know how this was our first FISM, and it was scary to us. But then when we actually met them in person, they're all so lovely, and yeah, it was great.
We
I mean-
we had to disclose the method,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which was fine given that what was at stake. So we went over it, and they were very impressed by the method.
Yeah.
You can see their faces change as we were explaining what was happening, the things that we'd combined to let that happen. So it was the pin code reveal.
I was gonna ask because that was amazing, and when people finally see this online, frankly, people are gonna shit themselves when they see this pin code revelation.
They do.
Yeah.
I can see from an outside perspective how looking at that act, and particularly, so just very briefly, James goes into the audience, borrows a credit card or a debit card from somebody. Marina reveals not only what it is, but a number of the digits, and then reveals the pin code. And I mean, that's what it looks like. I saw it twice. I've seen you do this before. I've seen you do this in a bar. I don't know how it works. And
I think the conditions mean it would make great ad copy if we ever wanted to sell it, because they don't say anything out loud. They don't write anything down. There's no pre-show. Nothing's instant stooged or stooged. Yeah, Marina is able to name their 4-digit pin code.
I mean, I was in the bar after your performance, and people were saying, oh, they must have been stalking people in the bar, watching them get the pin codes done, which is, I don't know, how long did we spend together? You were too busy doing the act for people to be able to get anyone's pin code.
Yeah, we were warming up because we were performing on the last day. We decided, why not warm up and, see how people react to it, see how magicians react to it. And it was a great response. So that gave us a boost of confidence as well.
Yeah, but we weren't checking their pin codes.
We were.
You were getting their pin codes, but for very different purposes.
Yeah, we had to get 2,000 of them.
That's amazing. So you share the method with, I mean, the judges are lovely people. Many, I've known many of these people for years, and they're all eminently qualified. So for the
No.
judges
Yeah.
to think that you were using stooges is, I mean, this is, you guys have your own FISM legend now. This has only happened a few times that
Really
the jury's
now.
asked to meet with people.
Yeah, and I think we're lucky that we got the opportunity to present our case, because I don't think Leonard Green had that opportunity, did it?
He did not. The way the story goes is that he was disqualified. They assumed he was using stooges. He came back the next time and required the judges to sit down at the table so they knew that it was real.
Yeah.
You fortunately didn't have to spend the money to go back to FISM a second time.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be devastating. Wow.
Yeah.
Marina's just realizing how much money you guys spent on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
have to do that. Yeah.
so no stooges, no electronics, no actual magic. Is that how it works? Are you guys just aliens, or are you actually
Yeah.
psychic?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah.
Just an insane amount of practice. I
No.
think.
No rough and smooth. No sticky stuff.
I can't wait to see what you all do next, and I really hope it does involve rough and smooth. So
100%.
thanks again. Take care.
Thank you so much.
That's going to do it for this week, kids. Thanks so much to Marina and James for being on the show, and thanks to you for listening. The moment their performance is on YouTube, you need to see it. Their show is truly incredible. Believe me when I tell you that their performance was one of the most astonishing displays of power of the human mind that I have ever seen. Like I said earlier, we've been working around the clock to get ready for Magic Live. We have some brand new goodies for you, so be sure to stop by the Penguin booth and say hello. I promise there will be a FISM wrap-up soon, and if you watch us on YouTube, you may notice these videos looking a little different. Full disclosure, I am working on using a new recording software to improve the quality of the podcast on YouTube, so the look may change a little bit here and there, but don't worry, we'll still be up every week. As always, we're a weekly podcast, so be sure to like and subscribe, as well as share your favorite episodes on the social media platform where you're catching up on the latest magic drama on. If you wanted to reach out to me about anything on this week's show, you'll need to slip it into my dreams, because FISM and then Magic Live, I need a nap. But if incepting questions into my dreams isn't your cup of tea, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Eric Tate. That's at ERIKTAIT. From me and everyone else here at the P3 Magic Studios, practice, perform.